hear important instructions, press 2.
Whoops. Hey, everybody. We'll be right with you in just a second. We're getting on Lilydale Blog Talk Radio. We're connecting still.
For your show now, press 1.
Okay,
to
there
hear.
we go.
Since it appears you're calling back into a live show, we are reconnecting you now.
Okay,
Your
hello,
show
everybody.
will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello, everybody. Welcome.
Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to Lilydale Radio, featuring topics about spiritualism, mediumship, healing, spirituality, and the Lilydale Assembly, the world's largest center for the religion, philosophy, and science of spiritualism. This is Lilydale Radio.
Welcome, everybody. Hello. How are you doing today? Welcome to Spiritual Discoveries with Angie and Friends. My name is Angie Abt. I'm a registered Lilydale medium, owner of Santosha Holistic Center, and graduate of Fellowships of the Spirit School of Healing and Prophecy. And with me today is my friend. She's a medical intuitive and globally acclaimed author, Tina Zion. Welcome, Tina.
Thank you so much. Thank you for even thinking to have me.
Oh my gosh, I'm so happy to have you. And we have people already popping on. We're going to talk for a second. So until we have a few people on, and then I'm going to start interviewing Tina. I'm so excited. I've taken Tina's courses. I've read Tina's books, and I'm excited to share her with you, with all of you, and tell you about some of the upcoming courses she has as well. So hi, Jenna. How are you? As everybody, as you're popping on, okay, we love to say hello, and we love to see where you're from. Good morning, Elizabeth. It's good to see you. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, we're excited today. So I don't know, Tina, where you live. What state? In Michigan?
No, I'm in Indiana, and I'm about 2.5 hours east of Chicago.
Oh, okay. So how's your weather there today?
About 11, 12 inches of snow. So, yeah,
Okay.
It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, you know what? We have a gorgeous day, too. I think we have you beat. I think we have a couple feet of snow on the ground here in Buffalo. But, yeah, but it's a beautiful day with the sun. So, yeah. Okay, people are coming on. Hi, Carrie from Arizona. Good to see you. Hi, Cindy. Hi, Darla. Thanks for joining us. So again, if you're just coming on, I'm with Tina Zion, who is a medical intuitive and a globally acclaimed author, and I'm excited to have her. Hi, Lee. Okay, so Tina, I want to start out. I'm going to read a little bit about your bio and ask you some questions, if that's okay.
Sure.
All right. So Tina Zion is a 4th generation intuitive medium educator and is considered an expert in medical intuition. So before I go for any further, what does that mean, a 4th generation intuitive medium?
I didn't realize really that I was 4th generation because my family it's so normal to be intuitive. And in my family, it's very, very normal to be a medium also. Mm-hmm. And so it never seemed like a big deal to me. And it was only just a few years ago that I thought, wait a minute, a lot of people talk about being 2 generations, 3 generations. I thought, how many generations am I? And I spent a lot of time with my great-grandmother on my mother's side. And then, the generations down to me. And then I'll also add that my grandparents on my father's side and my uncle on my father's side were very, very involved in the spiritualist church too. We never had any classes about it or anything. It was just expected to be intuitive.
Yeah, it was just there. You know what? I understand that. I'm also a medium, and I didn't know where it came from. I knew it was natural, and I took courses and all at fellowships. But then I found out, like after doing it for years, that my grandmother's mother was a medium, and I didn't know. Yeah. I didn't know. I almost wished I'd have known that, because it would have made me feel a little bit better. Like, so that's where this comes from.
Yeah. Well, I really want the listeners, though, and your viewers to understand that even though it's in our ancestry or the generations coming to us, we do not have a special gift at all. And I always emphasize that in my workshops and things. We do not have a gift, but what I had was it was just normal to interact and perceive the non-physical world. So I really want everyone to know that, it's not a special gift.
No.
Everyone can do this.
No, I know. I completely agree with you. It's our birthright. We're born with it, and
Yeah.
and actually, you're lucky in your family that you were just able to be intuitive, and it was okay. And no one said that was strange. They just went with it.
Oh, yes. In fact, we would, if, my grandmother, she came in quite a bit. And when she came in as a deceased person, we'd call each other up and, oh, did grandma come to you? And what did she say? And things like that.
Wow.
And
That's
one of
nice.
the things is we'd always ask, did she have her leopard skin boots on?
Oh, so grandma sounds like she was a fun
She
person.
was
Then, huh?
flashy. Yes, she was.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's funny. You know what though? That's wonderful that you did that. So because I really believe you can have a relationship with somebody on the other side and have a conversation with them.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I know. I love that part. So I know you went so you went from mediumship and then medical intuitive. So talk about that. What brought you to become a medical intuitive and what is that?
Well, the medical intuitive part really didn't begin for me until around 1990, 91. And I was doing a lot of Reiki. I was teaching a lot of people how to do Reiki and the attunements. And so I was doing a lot of Reiki, and it was real spontaneous. Just all of a sudden, I realized I was seeing and perceiving inside of the person's body, and what I was getting was very, very accurate. And I would see it sometimes like an X-ray, but more in truth, it was like a photograph.
Wow.
And so I was seeing not just the energy field, but inside of the organ or a joint in the person's body, inside the blood vessels, kind of things like that. So it was just the medical part started very spontaneously. And I'll tell people, any of you who are Reiki people, Reiki seems to just pop open our abilities for intuition.
Mhm.
A lot of people tell me that.
Yeah, I agree. I'm trained in Reiki as well, and
Ah.
I don't practice it a lot, but I know that a lot of times I'll get a feeling of I need to go to this part of the body or
Exactly.
that part, and I feel like that's my intuition kicking in, right?
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah.
So I didn't know that. So that was spontaneous, and then from there you started to kind of develop how to do medical intuition because you meet with people one on one, or you did, right?
Yes, yes, yes. So what happened was people started telling me, especially after I was perceiving inside of their body, people began to tell me, oh my goodness, I feel so different. Oh, something's changed. Oh, this is very positive. And people would say, how are you doing this? And for years I'd go, beats me. I don't know. It just comes in. And
Yeah,
then somebody would ask me and I said, beats me. I don't know. It just pops in.
yeah.
And so it was happening so much that I studied myself for, oh gosh, almost a whole year. And I just was taking notes and taking notes, trying to figure out how I'm doing this. And that really led to my first book, Become a Medical Intuitive. So that's really how it started.
Okay. So you took notes and had to sort of take it apart because you teach this.
Yes, and that's how I ended up teaching it. So I was trying to figure out, because everybody asked me how I'm doing it, and then I was taking notes, and I had notes on little pieces of paper and napkins and stuff everywhere, and then I compiled it into a book, and then my book really led to my workshops that I teach.
Okay. So the book came first. I wasn't sure.
Yeah. Yes, yes,
Do
yes.
you have that book? Can you hold that book up?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
I love that book. I've read that
Oh,
book.
thank you so much. Oops,
Yeah.
there it is. Thank
Become a Medical Intuitive. It
you.
has so much
Yeah.
information in that book. I recommend that book. You can get it. I think it's on your website and also on Amazon, right?
Yes, yes.
Oh, look at this. Look at
Oh,
this.
look there.
Oh, see, we have Karen. I forgot to thank Karen. We have Karen in the background, our tech girl. A lot of you know Karen. Karen's awesome. And these are Tina's books.
Thank you, Karen.
Yeah. So you started with become a medical intuitive, and then did people start like asking you, can you teach us or start workshops?
Well, I just, what really drove that part of it for me to develop a course is I realized that I didn't have a gift in the slightest, that we have this ability, we're wired to be intuitive. And I was so driven, my divine and sacred guides would just be at me and at me to start teaching this to others. So that's how it began. And I started teaching it, gosh, I don't know how long ago, quite a while ago,
Mhm.
probably almost 20 years maybe.
Wow. And I know you teach like I mean all over the world, right?
Yes, yes. Before COVID, I was traveling all the time, so I've taught it in many, many different countries. But now since we're on Zoom, that's opened it up even more for people all over the world.
Yeah.
So, and then I have private mentoring sessions where almost every day I'm working with someone internationally. Yes.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So people can train with you one-on-one if they want
Yes.
to learn more to hone. So it's a natural skill, but you can teach them how to do it and how to be more specific with it.
Oh, yeah. Really, I just tell people that what I think I mostly do is help people notice the very subtle, to notice the non-physical world more than what we're accustomed to. I think that's one of the primary things I teach is how to notice our intuition.
Yes, and how to see what we don't see with our physical eyes, right?
Well, sometimes we see it with our physical eyes if there's enough matter in the, like the person in spirit or whatever. And sometimes intuitive information shows up. One of my stories is I was asked sitting at a traffic light waiting for the light to turn green. And I thought, oh, I'll just ask for a guide to come in for a certain thing I had going on in my life. And then I opened up my eyes because I thought, oh, I better check to see if I got the green light yet. And a big semi truck went through the intersection, and it had the name of a Native American painted clear across the entire length of that's huge truck. I thought, well, there it is in the physical. See, so
Yeah.
they answer us in the physical
Yeah.
also.
Isn't it? It's all about paying attention, right?
Yes, noticing. That's just noticing, noticing, noticing.
Yeah, I know. I think the same thing. If we pay attention, I think spirit or our guides are talking to us constantly, and there's always that guidance.
Yes, always. And it's everywhere because we're getting signaled everywhere. It depends on whether we notice the signals or not.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So Tina, so you worked also in the mental health field as a registered nurse.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So talk about like it was being a registered nurse. Did that help you be a medical intuitive, or do you have to be a registered nurse to be a medical intuitive?
No, in fact, I would say, gosh, maybe 40% of the people that come to my courses or take private mentoring sessions, at least 40% of them do not have one single bit of medical training at all. And yet they have this yearning to do this level of work and this level of healing. So, no, you don't have to have a medical background at all. You do need to know where your, major organs are at. And so that's why in my books, I always have a very, very simple anatomy chart, just so you know where the liver is and where the spleen is and things like that.
I remember that because I actually have that chart, and that does help a lot because
Good.
yes, being in the medical field, that, and for me, I'm where is the appendix or
Yeah,
where. Yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
Yeah.
yes, so that can help. But that's true. I remember that you kind of give all that information in the course, which is great.
Yeah. Yeah. And the thing I would add too is that huge numbers of medical people are also come to my course. I really want people to hear that physicians from all backgrounds, nurses from all backgrounds, physical therapists, medical people are coming too, which I think is just, I love that. And I think it's very profound that the medical field is aware. And here's what they tell me. A physician will say, I know things before I open the chart. I know things before I turn the doorknob and walk into an exam room. How am I doing that? And I want to do more of it. So I hear that a lot. See, the medical world is opening up, and that really
That's
is what
amazing.
integrative medicine is about.
I feel that too. I feel that too. And you know what? You're right, because my doctor, my general practitioner will say, if I go in for something, he'll say, I'm pretty sure it's this, but
Ah,
we'll send you for the tests and all that. And then I'll worry, because I'll go for the tests. But then usually what he thought right from the beginning is correct.
oh, wow, that's fabulous. See, it's popping up everywhere. It's becoming more common. And my goal is to help people, to help normalize, intuition, help normalize mediumship or interacting with, the non-physical world.
Yeah, me too, because it's a
Yeah,
tool. Like you said, it's something we all have, and it can improve our lives in so many ways.
yeah, yes.
So I wanted to ask you, you teach two different workshops. So be your own medical intuitive and become a medical intuitive. So can you talk about those and how are they different from each other?
Oh, okay. For many years, I've been teaching and I still do how to become a medical intuitive. And I really got it down, I think, at least people tell me that,
Yeah, you
step by
do.
step by step by step to really put this into action. But it's being a practitioner for others. And my publisher, bless her heart, for years, couple of years, said, I want you to write a book about how to do intuition for oneself. And for 2 years, I said, I'm just not feeling it. I'm just not feeling it. And one day I called the publishing company up and I said, okay, I'm feeling it. So I wrote that book. And oh, if you want me to show that, and that's Be Your
Yes, that's
Own.
the new one. That's the new
Yeah,
book.
that's the new one. It just came out October 1st, Be Your Own. So now I've created a course about focusing on oneself. But for many, 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 many years, I was teaching everybody how to be a practitioner for it. So to answer your question, that's the difference.
Okay.
The
And
difference.
so is that the new course then? The new course is that you teach how we can heal ourselves?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Well, heal ourselves, but also assess ourselves. Also to listen to our body and be more accurate in and not be a victim to illness, not to be a victim of whatever's happening to our body. I also hope I help people realize how powerful we really are. And so I hopefully teach about how to direct our energy field very, very deliberately also.
Okay, so do you mean I'm gonna have you explain more about that. So direct our energy field toward healing, do you mean?
Yes, yes, and towards empowerment. It's like when I was running around all over the world, I would be very, very tired. And
Yeah.
so just throughout the day, I would just take a moment and I would deliberately enhance and run and power up. I call it power up our energy field. And so I teach that too in my workshops.
Okay, that's important. So really kind of what you're saying there is kind of like live your life and listen to your body. Like because sometimes I think I do. I go, 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 and then all of a sudden I'm so exhausted because I don't think I pay attention to the signs that are leading up to that exhaustion.
Well, we have to give back because, in a lot of our society here in the States and other societies, everyone thinks the heart center is that we're supposed to give and give and give and give and give, which, okay, that's fine. But really, as a chakra, the heart center is an intake center. So if we don't give to ourselves at least equally to what we give to others, we're going to start pooping out.
Right.
Yeah.
And how yeah, no, I agree. Actually, I needed to hear that. Thank you. Because I forget. I know that that's the right thing to do, but you
Well, and it only
forget.
takes a minute too. So that's what's key. The more you practice, deliberately running your energy field, that the more instant it is. It doesn't have to take more time out of your life.
So what do you do? Just kind of say, I'm feeling kind of tired or my body's feeling a little pooped out. I should rest. What are some tips?
It's not about resting, it's about directing, because every single word that we think or say out loud, and
Mhm.
every single phrase or sentence that we think or say out loud is actually electrical spurts. And so I direct and teach this, that our whole energy field is really called the human toroidal field. Even science thinks that the human field runs in this way. And
Mhm.
so I talk about, thinking that rainbows and gold and diamond like sparkles and violet flame are coming up through my body and filling every cell of who we are until we look like a light bulb.
Yeah.
Really a light bulb, the light is on from inside the light bulb, and it's so full of light it shines out past the glass of the light bulb. And so I teach people about how to deliberately run and direct their toroidal field, basically. So
Wow.
it's an upward and a filling until we shoot up into the heavens, but it's also the heavens giving back. So it's an up and a down movement altogether. And it only takes a second, and boy, I'm ready to go again. So
Okay. So you stop and then just connect to that. What is it called again? The toroidal. I want to
yeah,
pronounce
it's the human toroidal, and it's Toroidal, the human toroidal field. And I came across it on YouTube, and a scientist he said that he thinks scientifically that the energy field runs in this way. And I was so excited when I saw that, because when people are doing really, really, really well, physically, mentally, emotionally in their life, I would always see their energy field doing this.
Yeah.
And then I came across the YouTube, and a scientist, in his scientific mind, thinks that it ran that way or runs that way. And I have been perceiving it running that way also as an intuitive.
That had to have been so exciting that here you've been doing that naturally and then you saw it. I would have been, oh my gosh.
Well, I was. And thing is, I was just poking around on YouTube. I don't even ever get on YouTube. And it just bam went to there. So see, that's another way that the universe speaks to us and signals to us. So there it was. I didn't even have a goal. I was just poking around on YouTube.
Isn't that funny how that
Yeah,
happens?
I
Yeah. Oh,
see
look at this.
there.
Look at this, Karen.
Karen is all over it here today.
Yeah, I know. She's
This,
awesome.
this
So is
is
that it, Tina? That's yeah, talk about that.
Well, this is a more complicated version, but I use this, and because Karen has been so helpful in running Zoom for me in my workshops and
Mhm.
stuff,
Me too.
she already had that. And it's more complicated than what I teach, but it's so beautiful. And it really, I think, the emotion of that image that someone created really says it all, just how big and powerful that we really are if we choose.
Yeah. And how much like our aura and our energy field connects. It's amazing. I think so too.
Yeah.
So with healing, okay, and medical intuition. Oh, you know what? I want you to pull up, Karen. Can you pull up Tina's class because I want to talk about and then I'll ask you this next question. But you're teaching a course April 23rd and 24th with
Mhm.
Fellowships of the Spirit.
Yeah.
Now, is this the one that we're going to learn how to heal ourselves or how
Yes,
to
the
connect our own?
focus of that is be your own medical intuitive. So yes, and it's a Saturday, Sunday, and it is truly a focus on our own well-being, our own health, and getting more in charge of what the heck's going on in our body.
Okay, I love that. I love that. Is this here it is. Here we go. Okay. Karen, can you oh there it is. Okay, so
Mhm.
that's oh here we go. Okay. Okay, so we have a whole page here, and
Mm.
I'm excited. I'm gonna be at that class.
Are you? Oh, bless
Yeah,
your heart. Thank
yeah,
you.
yeah,
Thank
I'm
you.
excited. I'll
Mm.
tell you, everybody, if you learning from Tina, I loved it because she teaches it in a way that you understand, and she puts it in steps. I need steps. I love like I even when I'm learning something with the computer, it's I need to write it down. Do
Yeah.
this number
Yeah.
one, number
Next,
two.
next. Yes, yes.
Yeah, and then I can kind of follow that and I can do it. So I love that. And she teaches it in a way too that you feel like I can do this. I can do it. And I love how you say it's natural, that we all can do this.
Yes. There's some people out there that are well known also, and they say they're the only ones that can do this. But I'm running around all over the world trying to say, no, we don't have any gifts. Everyone can do this.
I agree. I teach intuition and I always say the same thing because people always say, like, oh, you can do this, but I'm pretty sure I can't. Or have you ever come across somebody that can't do this? Have you ever?
No.
Mm-mm.
People will say to me, well, I'm not, I hear this a lot. People will say, I'm just not visual. And I'll say, okay, well, just tell me what, you do notice. And they don't realize, and I let them talk for a while. And then I'll say, do you realize everything that you just said was you seeing things in your mind's eye?
Yeah.
And, they don't. So most of the time we don't realize how intuitive we are and what intuitions, how it appears and how it
Yeah.
comes to us. Yeah.
That's true. I remember somebody saying that to me, and I think I was discovering, what I could or couldn't do. And somebody said, "You're saying I feel, I feel, I feel." You're feeling because we can see it, or the three main ones are seeing and hearing and feeling. Correct? Yeah. And yeah, you know what? We have a question here. Quick. Hi,
Good.
Christy. Christy told me she couldn't wait to be on and get
Oh,
hear you
Christy, hi.
talk. Yeah. So, okay. So Christy wants to know, can people who aren't in fellowships attend? Yes.
Oh, heavens, yes, yes. In fact, people are signing up already. And the thing with the course will be on live Zoom. And so and it's on Eastern time zone in the US. So people from all over the world can take it. And I always have people from all over the world at the workshop. So, you just have to figure out and calculate where you're located and what time that will be in your location.
Oh, that's true. That's
Yeah.
true. Yeah. Now that we can teach, I love Zoom too, because
I know.
anybody can take it from around the country, which is
Yeah.
awesome.
I
Yeah.
know.
So, Tina, talk about if I could ask you this question. Like healing on all levels is important too, right? Because can the emotional and the mental affect the physical.
Oh, our thoughts and our emotions are actually what I would call running the show. What we think, what we feel is everything's electrical about the human body. And so it sends our thoughts and emotions send electrical spurts through our body out into our energy field and out into the cosmos. So the cosmos or the universe or the world around us has to match whatever the vibration of our thoughts and emotions are. So the more negative we're feeling, the more negative we draw, the more positive we feel, the more positive that we draw. It's kind of mechanical. The universe is kind of mechanical in that way with us. So I talk a lot about, thinking more positive, sending very deliberate thought energy to places in our body that aren't, doing so well, that kind of thing.
Okay, I love that. I've had issues lately with my lower back. So I should be sending light to my lower back and talking to it or sending it.
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
And the light, just thought of light, the feeling of light. The toroidal field needs to be powered up in that area. And also, depending on what our thoughts and emotions are that lead to illness or pain or struggles, the area of our body is also very telling. Like, people that have struggles with their neck and shoulder, uh, always they're carrying around and carrying responsibility and the burden of and the weight of responsibility. People with old anger that never got resolved over an issue, old anger, I'm pointing at my liver, tends to go to our liver, things like that. So I love talking about that body, mind, and emotional connection because it really is connected.
I know. I love that too. And that actually makes sense when you're talking about the shoulders, because I always feel like when I'm very stressed, I'm walking around like this, like I'm carrying things there. And if I don't take care of that, I'll start to have issues.
Yes.
And that kind of goes back to that whole thing of we have to take care of ourselves.
Well, we don't have to, but if we don't, especially as intuitives and mediums, we truly must take care of ourselves. And because healers especially give and give and give and give, and many times they give of their own energy, which I try to get people to not do that, and to fill with the universal energy first and let that go to our clients. But yes, if we don't give to ourselves, we're not going to make it very long in this business and in this way of life.
We're going to exhaust ourselves. Yeah.
Yep.
So you kind of just said that, like, so how do we put an energy shield around ourselves to make sure that we're not giving of our energy, or that's probably something we'll learn in the class, right?
Well, I'm giggling that you brought it up because I'm kind of I'll say it. I'm like a maniac trying to teach people to not put protective shields around us, because it ends up that when we put a shield around us, we usually do it when we're afraid or when we're worried about something. And all that really builds up is fear and worry, not the shield or the protection around us. So I teach a whole different way of protecting ourselves.
Okay.
Commands to what I call commands, direction to spirit and how to help us, that kind of thing.
Can you share one of those, or is that for the course?
No. That's probably why this one came up. I write what I call commands all over the place. I've got them everywhere. But here's an example: is divine and sacred healers who specialize in transmuting negative energy, completely and permanently transmute all negative energy coming to me into pure, divine, golden, healing energy. Things like that.
Oh, I like that. I get chills with that one. Yeah.
See, I've had this one sitting here for, I don't know, a couple of weeks now. I thought, there it is. So
there you go. Yeah. Even that kind of directed. So do you think, like, say with the energy shield, it almost kind of sounds like, because I do that all the time. I put an energy shield around myself, and I wonder then if I'm keeping all my stuff like inside. Is that what you're saying? I'm keeping it all inside the energy.
Here's the example. I bring this example up in the class, hopefully every time, that when we put a shield around us, it's usually because we're worried about something or actually afraid of something at that moment. So what really builds up is the fear. So I don't do readings anymore because I'm teaching so much. So I do private mentoring teaching sessions or my workshops. But when I was doing readings, a lot of times when I couldn't get through this dark gray, sticky, globby stuff, I would stop because I couldn't get through it. And I would say, you protect a lot, don't you? And people would go, yes, I do. And I said, but you do it when you're afraid. Well, yeah, I do. I said, there's no protection around you. There's just heavy, sticky, negative fear around you. And so, that's the best example I can give to protect ourselves in entirely different ways.
That makes, I can see that as you're saying that, and I can feel that.
Okay.
And it's almost like you're putting that around you with that intention of, I'm afraid,
Yeah.
I'm worried about things, and it's keeping that fear and that worry around you.
Yes, because negative thoughts and emotions have more density. So so it's like a real slow frequency, and it's sticky too, negative stuff. And so it sticks together and builds up really fast. And that's what
So
leads to our illnesses too.
yeah, so it's more about, so you'd say don't do that, maybe have a mantra like what you just read, something like that instead. Like
Well,
how do I let go of, like, say if I'm doing a healing on somebody, which I feel like mediumship is verbal healing too. So how do I let go of maybe their stuff or or just because that's why I put the field around myself so I don't take their stuff in.
I want you to be, and for everybody else that's listening too, be the light bulb and be so bright. It's part of the toroidal field. Be so bright from the inside, shining out. It's kind of like burning off all the negative, sticky, gooey stuff.
Okay.
Be the
Okay.
light bulb.
I love that.
Oh,
Thank
yeah.
you. Thank you for that, because I just taught that energy shield in a class I taught.
Uh,
And the classes again this week, I'm going to have to give some corrections.
oh, well,
That makes sense. Yeah, I
thank you for
appreciate that.
considering that. Yeah. But
Yeah.
when I took classes decades ago, I learned the same thing too. So, and I was putting shields around myself all the time until I had this experience as a reader. Wait a minute, I can't get through. There's so much. It was always dark gray, and
Yeah.
kind of like globs, sticky globs, clear around the person.
Interesting how spirit showed that to you, and then you learned how to do it a different way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, so I want to go back and talk a little bit about intuition. So what are the primary blocks that get in the way of our intuition?
Well, probably the main block is fear. And when I say fear, think about the listeners really at you as an individual. What are you afraid of? What are you afraid about? So I have just collected all kinds of different fears that people have brought up in my mentoring sessions and in the workshops. There's all kinds of fear. We're afraid of having this ability. Even though people are in my workshop, they're still saying, I'm afraid to keep doing this because I might see a dead person. And so, but see, that's a fear.
It is.
Fear will build up. But there's all kinds of fears. So I would ask your listeners right now to especially notice, if fear is too strong a word, at least notice what you might be worried about, because that is literally getting in your way. In all kinds of ways it's getting in your way.
That makes sense.
Uh-huh.
Or maybe even the fear of, oh no, I can do this. And then that comes with responsibility. I've heard people say that. Or, if I do this, what if I start doing this and then I'm wrong?
Yes, that's in my list. What if I'm wrong?
Yeah.
What if a lot of people are afraid to have this much, what they think is authority to work at this level with a client? But one of the things that people kept telling me when I was doing readings is how they were changing and how they were feeling better and what very dramatic positive change happened. And they would say, how are you doing this? And this is another thing when I thought, well, beats me. I don't know. And so I started to study that, and I realized that inside of every reading was also, towards the end, a healing of whatever a major issue was in the session. And so, to identify medical intuition for ourselves or as a practitioner, I would say I teach how to notice intuition and really fine tune that. But also, I have a lot of very structured healing methods to help ourselves and help other people.
Oh, I love that.
So there's a healing always too.
And you know what? I think I've said this too, that when you do a reading or you do a healing and you see the healing like at the end, and you can feel it because there's a shift and you can see it on the person's face.
Yeah.
And for me, that's the thing that made me say, I'm going to push past the fears. I want to do this because if I can be a vessel for healing and help people feel that way, I want that.
And if any of the listeners do feel that fear, just take it as some information about yourself. Don't be critical or hard on yourself. It's information that's rising up right now to look at, to change, to transform into something else, something positive.
I love that. I love that too. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Wouldn't you say this too? I always feel that as I heal or I deliver healing, it heals me too.
Yes, it does, doesn't it?
I love that part. I love that part. So I'm going to ask you, could you give us a couple of tips to immediately improve our intuition?
I would say, let me think about that.
Okay.
I would say always take the pop of information that just pops in out of nowhere. And what I really teach in my mentoring sessions and workshops is really what made an enormous difference in my abilities and then in the abilities of the students. And when I started thinking, oh, wait a minute, I'm going to take the pop of information, however that comes in, as an absolute truth without question.
Yeah.
When I see, that's all energy. So it shifted the energy that it popped in. I'm not going to question it. I'm not going to think, oh, it's probably not right. No, it's an absolute truth. That will make all the difference because the vibration of truth is very fine and light and very open.
Yeah.
And so you'll be able to receive even more. It's like it opens up a big highway.
I love that.
I would say it.
It's almost like take the chance, right? And just go for it and let yourself, like in fellowships, one of the sayings, Chris Slater was a teacher years ago, and he always said, link, don't think.
Yes. Yep. Our thinking mind tends to get in the way.
Yeah, I think
That's
so.
why pop. So you take the pop, your thinking mind didn't have time to get in the way.
Yeah, because I think that's what happens sometimes, and I see it when people learn is they get that, everybody gets that pop, and then they switch to left brain and they think it away.
Yeah, they just blow it off. Because we get signals constantly all day long and in our sleep too, so 24 hours a day. And most people just say, that was a coincidence. I just dreamed that up. Big deal.
Yeah,
blow it off in some way.
Yeah, I've done it myself. I have
too. We all have.
Yeah, I try not to, but I've done it too.
Even I sometimes I think, oh my goodness, I do this for a living and I miss that. So.
I know, I think it too. I'm like, how did I miss that gut feeling? You got to I'll notice it after, right? For sure.
I know, I correct myself.
Yeah. So everybody, we all do that. So if you do that, it's okay.
Yes.
It's you keep on going and you keep on learning and you keep paying attention. And I love how you called it those pops, because that's how it comes in so much.
Mm-hmm.
You just kind of get that. So I have some, thank you for your experience, Reverend Wendling. Okay, this is, hi Sharon, I studied with Reverend Wendling, who Elaine from Fellowships shared with, and she said, would always say to give a message, not to question it.
Yes, just give what you get without question. Yeah.
Yeah. And Missy said, hi Missy, I haven't seen Missy in a long time. Missy would love to take your class. And
thank you, Missy.
Yeah, I'd recommend it. And anybody can take this class. I'm going to have Karen pull it up again. So anybody, you don't have to have taken the other two classes. Like you can, there's no prerequisite or anything.
Correct. No, there's some of my classes have a prerequisite, but no, this is open. This is focused on ourselves that I'm doing with fellowships.
Oh, look at this. Here's our graphic. So Tina Zion, be your own medical intuitive, self-awareness and self-healing. And don't we all need that right now?
That's
so
true.
Yeah. And Tina is a medical intuitive, globally acclaimed author. The class is April 23rd and 24th from 9 to 5 both days, Tina?
Yes, 9 to 5, yes.
Okay. And it's on Zoom.
Correct. Live on Zoom.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, which I love. I mean, I think that's awesome. So yeah, everybody, absolutely, I highly recommend. Definitely sign up for this course. You'll learn so much, and the book too. Can people get the book? Is the book out now?
It came out, well, my newest book, Be Your Own Medical Intuitive, came out October 1st. So that's really my 5th book. I have 2 Reiki books, but this one just came out because I finally called my publisher, remember, and I said, okay, I'm feeling it. So I wrote that book. Yeah.
I know you can't do it until. Oh, here we go. Here's your books.
Oh, good,
yeah. Do you want to talk a little bit about each one?
Oh, we
Overall,
have Become a Medical Intuitive, the blue one, and Advanced Medical Intuition, the green one, is completely focused on being a practitioner.
okay.
The Reiki manual, teacher's manual, is for students too, but it's really information about Reiki to take the scare out of Reiki and things like that. But also, I structured it so that people who want to teach Reiki have the format right there in what to include in the 1st degree, what to include in the 2nd degree and 3rd degree, things like that. The one with the orange, Reiki and Your Intuition. So many people in my medical intuitive courses would say, I'm a Reiki person, and my Reiki teacher said, don't ever allow intuition into your Reiki session. And I said, well, I don't know how you're going to keep it out, because Reiki opens up our abilities to be intuitives.
Yeah.
And so the one with the orange and yellow, the Reiki and Your Intuition, is to take that fear out of the intuitive part of it, and to give information to your Reiki clients. And then we've already talked about the purple one, is Be Your Own Medical Intuitive. So
Yeah, that one I don't have. That one I have to absolutely get.
oh, thank you.
Yeah. So Tina, I wanted to ask you, because we were talking beforehand, which I love that we did that. And you were talking about that we can heal deceased people too, and the relationships we have with them. Yeah. I wanted to make sure we touched on that. We're going fast here. Time goes by fast.
We're zipping along here.
I know.
Well, the primary thing I would say about that is dead people, deceased people, are just as alive as we are, because that's the eternal soul of us. And so I have realized that I do and also teach living people how to be, how to know it's not too late to heal a relationship with a deceased person, to heal a terrible, painful situation that happened when the deceased person was alive. So I kind of realized after a while, maybe I'm a slow learner, but I realized after a while, I thought, wait a minute, there's healing going on here between living and the deceased too. So I love to teach about that. In fact, I'm thinking about creating a whole course just in doing that.
Yeah, you said that. That's why I brought that up. I think that would be an excellent course.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Because we feel like we can't talk to them, and yet we can.
Oh, they're just as alive as we are.
Yeah. So I wanted to just read, Karen actually had a comment here. Tina is one of my favorite teachers. Her workshops have taught me so much about personal healing and have helped me develop my own confidence with intuition that we can heal ourselves and how to work with the divine and sacred. I love that. I love that. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Karen.
Yeah, I feel exactly the same. And again, if you're thinking about taking this course, I would so much recommend it. It's April. You want to pull it up one last time, Karen? Because I see other people keep tuning in. Usually she's ahead of me. So, but the course is based on your book, Be Your Own Medical Intuitive. Tina, is it available? Somebody's asking about audiobooks.
The audiobook is just getting completed, and I don't think it's on Amazon yet. I will check with the publisher. Last I looked, it wasn't up, but it's completed now.
Okay. All right, good. Okay, that's good. Good
Yeah, that's a
question.
good question. Thank you.
Yeah, that was a really good question. Yeah. So, and the books are available on Amazon. Karen posted a link, I think, in comments here to sign up for the class. You can also go on fellowshipsspirit.org. So it's running through Fellowships of the Spirit. Probably they can sign up on your website too.
No, the registration is through fellowships.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that was-
And actually, Sharon, thank you, Sharon Adler. Sharon said by 4:15 early bird, right? So people want to sign up by 4:15. Karen probably knows you
Right there.
know that too.
No.
Yeah. So, anything else, Tina? Anything else that you'd want to share about the course or about anything? Any tips for us?
Probably when you ask that, I just see what pops into my awareness. And do not think that this is a gift that only a few people have, because you are naturally wired to live at this level of 1 foot in the physical and 1 foot in the non-physical at the exact same time.
Yeah, we forget that, and that's a fantastic reminder. So, thank you, Tina, so
Thank you
much.
so much.
I
Thank you.
love that you came. I know I was so excited about this, that to have you come on and get to talk to you and talk about all this. I appreciate it very much.
Thank you.
And thank you to Karen Sully, who is in the background there. Okay, helping us with everything. And you're getting lots and lots of thank yous here. People that are excited about the course for sure. Yeah, and I hope you come back on again. We can talk some more.
Oh, I'd love to. Yep. Just let me know. Yeah.
All right, I will. Thank you very much, Tina. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in too. We appreciate it. I'll see you soon. I'll see you next week. Next week, I have Linda Elson, feng shui practitioner. You've seen her before, but we're going to celebrate the Year of the Tiger. Happy New Year! So just join us next Sunday too. Thank you.